give them a glimpse inside of what was it, sophomore year art class?
Sure.
Miss Bradford.
Yeah.
There's only 2 teachers in my life that I've ever wanted to be with romantically.
And Miss Bradford was one of them.
Miss Bradford is one of them. What, am I wrong? You can't be
Well,
16 years old.
It's very
get
rare.
shoved in an art class with a 6-foot blonde girl with huge tits and not in great shape. Like, I mean, she was older, but
Yeah.
she was still in good shape.
She was old enough to be our mothers,
Yes.
but she didn't look like our mothers.
No. No.
She didn't look like anybody else's mom, for sure.
And the cool thing was, we had desks and we had to sit side by side. There were 2 people to a desk. So if she was leaning over, looking at the desk in front of you, if she was leaning over, looking at their artwork, you had a straight shot right to Cleavageville.
And I don't know her personal life story. I don't know if maybe she like was freshly divorced or separate, but she had the mojo of I'm a happening girl.
Right.
I've got things in the right places, and I'm not gonna hide them.
Right.
I'm going to be an attractive person in the world.
Sure.
And because good things happen to attractive people.
Sure. And it being a Catholic high school, that's a little odd.
I'm sure the faculty was
not happy.
Knowing what we know now as we're older,
right,
and working,
right.
I'm sure people talked behind her back, or they probably went home like, oh yeah, what so and so did this, and
well, Mr. Laird probably had to hear it all night from Mrs. Laird. Like, could you believe she wore that to work today? And he's like, no, I'm glad she did though. So walk us through like an average day. Or like give us a story of our art class, because this was the first class that you and I ever really, I mean, we had a history with Mr. Conley.
We did it freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
We took art class freshman year and sophomore year. Right?
I didn't know you freshman year.
Okay.
And I don't think art became an elective until either sophomore or junior.
Well, we
took art all.
You had to take a fine art, so it either had to be a language. Or you could do the art class. And so you and I took art every year.
Learn a language. What are you, stupid?
Yeah, I have no interest in Spanish. But so we would do these art projects, and then they would there would be a critique time where you have to show your art to everyone else in the class.
Sure.
Everyone has to give like, oh, I like what you did with your strokes, your brush technique. How did you achieve this? Well, your shadowing, but it's just to get you thinking about art. And you
do you still have my
Warrior at Ease? Oh, of course I do.
Could you describe my piece, Warrior at Ease?
Warrior at Ease is...
How would you describe such a...
It's a collage of multimedia. What you've done here is you've taken clips from magazines, and you've also put on textures of different like thickness of poster board, and you've drawn on them yourself, and you've added paints, and you even did a print, and you've collaged it all together, making one statement, one piece that is your statement about something. Maybe it's your politics, sexual relations, something about the world as you see it.
Okay.
And what you chose to do was take a National Geographic page, 8.5 by 11. That's a painting itself already. It's not a photograph. It's a painting of...
See, I'm a quick thinker.
Of like a Native American being held by a pilgrim or some type of European settler, and it's a bad scene. I mean, they're not friendly. It's like they're under attack, and this person's holding their shoulders like they're gonna put them down to kill them. And what you did was you took a drawing of Bon Jovi that you'd done, glued this portrait of Bon Jovi onto the bottom of the page. So now he's standing there smiling, grinning, smiling at you, at the viewer, while just over his shoulder is this possible rape scene that's about to happen. Then you took a drawing of a transvestite that I had done on poster board, which was this guy with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth with stubble but long hair and fishnet stockings. You cut him off at the shoulders, put him on the pilgrim, So now he has this mundane look on his face like, yeah, you want to fuck? But it's on top of this pilgrim, and that's it. That was it. That was the whole project.
What?
And you titled it Warrior ... at ease. As if Bon Jovi is this warrior.
What on earth? What did Miss Bradford say? I mean, because okay, so let me.
So you and I sitting next to we share a table.
I happen to be sharing a table with the only artist in this entire class.
Yeah,
and
everybody's there because they don't want to do language.
Yeah, so I mean, we're talking about we got all the jocks. We got a couple of smart kids, and the only artistic person that's in our class is Joe. And Miss Bradford, whenever I got my Warrior at Ease done, she would walk around the classroom and say to the class, oh, this is very nice, blah blah blah. Without fail, every single project, she would come to my table, she would look at my work, she'd be like, I think you need to spend, and I'd spent time.
Oh yeah.
I think you need to spend more time on your work, William. And I'm like, okay. Thanks, Miss Bradford.
Yeah.
Titty. And then she got to Joe's, and I swear to God.
One step over.
Oh, my God, Joe, this is so beautiful. She basically had an orgasm. Before I knew what a female orgasm was, she had them every single project of yours. And what really pissed me off is that the night before the project was due, I would have already had mine done. And I would call Joe to be like, hey, you want to sneak out or go smoke cigarettes or go to Arby's or something? Be like, no, man, I got to finish the artwork. You're not done? Nope. Haven't even started.
Nope.
The night before, this jackass gets this orgasmic review from the hot teacher.
Well, what would happen, I'm such a procrastinator.
Yeah.
And then the art project's due, and I'm like, oh, shit, I got to get that done. So I would sit there for 6 hours straight and work on it. So I still put in 6 hours.
Mm.
It just wasn't over the week. It was all in one time.
Right. Well, I've seen your work. You would have had to spend that much time on it.
Yeah.
So.
So she sees your collage, and she is like, okay. and then she has me walk up to the desk and show the class and show her.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And what you do is first you hand it to her, and she looks at it. She goes, okay, and now show the class. And she would take mine. She would take everyone's and goes, oh, yeah, okay. Because she's seen pretty much everybody's all week anyway.
Right.
Because she's walked around, but she hasn't seen mine yet.
Right.
Mine was always an unveiling because I would wait until that last minute.
Not on purpose, not by design.
No, not at all. It was just because I would sit there and talk to you the whole class and do nothing. And so then when she would see mine, it's fresh eyes. She'd be like, oh.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Joe. And then she'd put it down and sit back in her chair and look at me.
She'd have to take it in.
Yeah, she'd soak it in.
And then she would ask everybody to stop what they're doing.
Look at this.
Hold it up, or like sometimes she didn't even want to touch it. And she just let everybody in the class gather around her desk.
She would make me parade it around everybody so they could get a close-up look at my technique.
You doing that.
And I had to walk. And I remember getting to you and like our buddy Gorman, and they'd just be like, "You fucking asshole."
I thought a couple of times about like flicking a pen at it or something.
Oh no, my pen broke.
Yeah. Dang it.
Actually, Bill, this creates a cool little surrealistic thing. I could draw right off of this. And then thanks, bro.
And then you would just like
smear it and sign it,
make it better, and get an A+, and I would get kicked out of class, sent to the dean's office.
Oh,
it makes me think of the time, because this was around the same time that the whole bicycle cigarette incident happened.
What's bicycle cigarette?
When you and I were driving.
Oh yeah.
One of possibly the most dickish things I've ever done. And to hear you tell the story, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, you had this, and I don't know if you still got it.
Oh, I got it.
You have this talent that is just the way you can pinpoint and flick a used cigarette that's still lit and hit a target and hit it so fiercely.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you could be 20 feet away. You flick that cigarette, and it's not like an arch, and it swoops down like, oh, he got the. No, it's like a fastball, like, and it just shoots, and you hone this thing in, and it was just you had so much practice, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I had flicked enough at Gorman.
Yeah.
Over the years.
Yeah.
That
And so you're driving.
we were driving in between over by Landmark, and we were driving down towards can't remember the name of the street, but over by Landmark Cinemas. Like if Landmark's on our right, and we're driving down that little
you're
road.
going to Forest Hill.
Yeah, Forest Hill. There it is.
And here comes a biker, and you kind of we're driving while you do it, right?
Yeah.
So you've got the speed of the car. So now the cigarette is traveling already 30 miles an hour, and then you flick it, speeding it up probably another 10.
And I even told you, I was like, watch this.
And you know me, I don't.
Your mind didn't go straight to.
I have total like empathy for people. Like I don't like. I mean, I put myself in this guy's place, and I'm like, oh, dude, don't do this. You're gonna hurt him. Oh, this is. I'm like, but in my head, I'm like, I'm not gonna step in because I don't want to look like a pussy.
Right.
I don't want to be like, no, don't do that, man.
That's not nice.
And also, I'm banking on the fact like it's a moving target, it's a moving car. There's no way in hell Bill gets this.
So you got to see.
So I'm just gonna let it play out because I'll be like, I'll still look cool, and then I'll feel better that nothing happened.
Okay.
And then you flick this thing, fucking hit him right in the collarbone, and the sparks of the cigarette exploding like the cherry, and the guy like the wobble of the steering. Go whoa 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 shit. I think he runs into the curb, and then you just exactly what you're doing now.
I was such an asshole when I was a kid.
The only thing funnier was the time it was pouring down rain, and we're driving in your car, and you like to take turns at like 30 miles an hour.
I used to,
like
yeah. I
90-degree angle turns.
Did I or did I not get the old Mercedes on two wheels? Or
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were in the car when I actually did it. Mike L. He about shit himself when I did that the first time. He did not care for that.
But you would come race around, and it's pouring down rain, and there's this guy sitting in front of an old folks' home, waiting for a bus, and you didn't do it on purpose, but you took the turn so fast you didn't even know he was there. And as soon as you get that turn and you come onto the street, you just hit this wall of water that's sitting there, and it's just like in the movies. This tidal wave comes over. It doesn't just hit him, like it comes over his face and his head. It was like unbelievable. I was speechless.
No, dude, you were laughing your ass off.
I couldn't help it.
That poor guy was just sitting there minding his own business, and then all of a sudden, now he's
just waiting on the bus. It's already raining. Right. Like, oh, what a shitty day! I've got to ride the bus. It's pouring down rain.
Moderately wet.
At least I've got shelter inside this three-walled bus stop. The only thing that can get me wet is if. Well, that'll never. Oh,
poor guy.
We could do a whole hour on these kinds of stories. I think
we probably should. I think we should probably like rack our brains. Come back next week with what.
I mean, you've got the snot rocket in the wind. You got. There's just so many.
Oh my god, snot rocket on a girl, man. What a dick. What a dick.
He slimed her big time.
She did. She looked like
what we now know porns look like. Someone just jizzed right on her face. Right in the eye.
I farmer blew on this girl's face, and I don't even remember why. That's the worst part.
You didn't do it to her on the face. You did it. And the wind was blowing so hard that it went out and just flew it right back in her face.
You
shot it forward while you're walking